YouTubers, Mike Martins here, Mike Martins channel. Thanks for accompanying me on this channel. It means a lot to me, and thanks for your comments. It really means a lot to me when you take the time to comment on my channel. But I want to do a really special edition. I want to do a little edition here of trends in the housing market, but I want to follow Toronto because today there's two breaking stories today, and it's huge. So all you people from the rest of Canada, pay attention and watch, because this is how basically Vancouver started a decade ago, at a snail's pace, and started escalating over time. As the market started to crash, people started pulling their money out of markets about 10 years ago and dropping them into real estate and parking them into real estate, basically a safer haven, basically what people think it's a safer haven. But let's see what's going on today in Toronto. Today, this is from December 3rd, 2016. And it says here, new mortgage rules fail to cool GTA housing market prices spike in the burbs. So GTA is Greater Toronto area. So that's Mississauga, Oakville, Brampton, Markham, areas like that, okay? This is a good one, guys. The largest mortgage rule changes have failed to slow the blistering pace of home sales, according to the numbers released on Friday, and they have actually pushed prices higher in parts of the GTA that are still considered affordable, realtors say. Affordable because the rates are low. Once you raise something 3, 4, 5% in interest rates, payment goes through the roof. Let's continue here. The Toronto Real Estate TREB stands for Toronto Real Estate Board, said 8,547 homes were sold in the Greater Toronto area through multiple listing services last month. That's 16.5% from last November. Prices also marched higher, with average value selling up to 22.7% to $776,684. You telling me that's affordable? You telling me that's $776,684? That's an affordable... Okay. Anyways, that's despite the new federal rules that took off in October, requiring buyers to have a larger down payment on house prices over $500,000. Everything's over $500,000, so they want a bigger down payment. First-time home buyers take hit with new mortgage rules, for sure. A tale of two cities, Toronto and Vancouver, await fallout from mortgage rules. Toronto real estate investors deny they're driving up the market. Yes, it was the same thing here in Vancouver, guys, where the real estate investors always denied they were driving up the market, and they were saying, oh no, it has nothing to do with the foreign investing, and then they put the tax and what. By the way, today there was a news article. Housing sales are down 44% from last year in Vancouver. Now, let's start here. I think for the part of the rule change has been digested, said Whitby-based realtor Paul St. Aubin. A lot of people who were very, very close to purchasing, it's now pushed them back a year or two to have to look further out. Whitby is far from Toronto. He said that's led to a more dramatic rise in prices outside the city of Toronto, from Milton to west to Oshawa in the east. We're talking far. In Whitby, the average home prices are well above $500,000 in Whitby, Ontario. Do you understand? Whitby, Ontario, if you're living in the state of Florida, would be considered Ocala, Florida. That's Whitby, Ontario. Would be, go look on the map and see where Ocala, Florida is. That's kind of what Whitby would be. It's crazy. At 642,000, a threshold at 624,000. In fact, the Durham region had the biggest year-over-year price increase in the GTA, with a 25.4% spike, reflecting its relative affordability and access to downtown. The new, in quotation, rules didn't take out a lot of investors who are the ones coming in and bidding aggressively. They are looking for long-term growth, whereas the everyday resident just wants to get into the market. No, the everyday resident just wants a place to live. said Saint Abedin, who added the investors have noticed infrastructure improvements east of Toronto, such as expansion of the 407 and planned improvements to the lakeshore east to the GO Train corridor. When you are looking for an area to invest in, there are three things to look for at the Durham region. Infrastructural improvements, a higher than national average income, and population growth, he said. Once again, across the region, a lack of listings was the main drive behind the price jump, according to Toronto Real Estate Board President Larry Kricka. Well, in all fairness, it's going to be just like in Vancouver. You saw nothing for sale. You would not see nothing for sale back when it was during the heyday last year, around this time when everything was booming. You couldn't find a damn thing. You would put your house for sale on Friday and it'd be sold by Monday. And you don't even have to put a sign outside because they already have people ready to invest in your home. So you don't have to go out of the way just to, you know what I'm saying, to get, we got to get this. No, I mean, you pack. When you sell your house in Vancouver about a year ago, you pack and you're ready to move on the weekend because there's people coming in because people are buying that place. So I'm letting you know that's how it was. But now I'm seeing the same houses now almost 7 months sitting on the market still. And they're going to start piling up here in Vancouver. Now, let's look at Toronto. This is from today. There's another story, okay? Toronto housing prices increased 23% in November from last year. So Toronto's starting to boom up. Housing prices in Toronto increased 23% in November compared to last year, to the average a price of $776,684 for most type of properties. The Toronto Real Estate Board said in a statement today. The TREBE, whatever it's called, says that there were 8,547 sales, up 16.5% in 2015. The Industry Association Home Price Index is up 20.3%. The prices in the 416 area code were generally higher than the 905 area code surrounding areas in the GTA, says Realtor. It's almost the same article, but it's a day later. It's a different article. This is targeting Toronto. The average price for a full detached house in the 416 is $1.35 million, up 32.2% from the same time last year, while the comparable type of house in the 905 area code was about $957,000, up 25.5%. They say that the chronic shortage of property listings contributed to higher prices and frustrated some would-be buyers. So there you go. There's young families that want to get into the market because there's a massive shortage in properties because they're being bought up and left empty. Look what happens. So, people living out east in Toronto have no fear. It's happened here in Vancouver. You're going to start getting speculative people saying, it has nothing to do with foreign investors. You're a racist. But no, in all fairness, everyone's a foreign investor. Everyone that, you know what I'm saying, everyone's an immigrant. Everybody is an immigrant. This was native land originally, so we're all immigrants here. But in all fairness, it's the people, it's a lot of speculative real estate markets. And you have to understand, a lot of people want to park their money. And a lot of people don't want to park their money anymore in markets. They don't want to invest in the stock market. They don't want to invest in the bond market. They don't want to invest in companies. They just want to park their money in housing. So Vancouver said, okay, if it's not the foreign investors, let's just put a foreign investor tax. They put the foreign investor tax. House prices are down 44%. So you can look it up right now. House pricing in Vancouver is down 44% from last year of this time. That's how bad it's got. So people have to start calling a spade, and what is happening and who is coming in and monitoring what's going on with what people's futures, because our futures are at stake. All our futures are at stake. Because if we can't lay roots, I mean, a lot of people are leaving. And a lot of people I know that are leaving, a lot of people that I know that have left, about 40% of the people I know that left went back to Europe. A lot of them went to Spain. I know two families that went to Portugal. They used to go to our church. I know a couple of families that went back to Ireland. I know a really good friend of mine that went back to London. I was talking about him yesterday. It just the affordability isn't there anymore, and people get this anxiety or something. They start getting nervous when they feel like they can't be a part of something. People with families and children growing up feel like they're not laying roots for their kids. You know what I'm saying? But housing's become a commodity now, so you guys got to get used to it. Housing, give it another 5 to 10 years. Automobiles are going to be for the rich only. Only people could afford to drive automobiles in the next 10 to 15 years. You think I'm joking? Watch what's going to happen. Same thing with houses. You told people 30 years ago only rich people could afford a detached 3-bedroom home. It's only for rich people, and it's going to go up to $1-2 million. People will laugh at you. You're crazy, man. You're nuts. Yeah, well, no. Look what's happening now. Housing has become a high-stake commodity. And let's see what happens. You know, people are putting their cards down and hoping for a crash to come here in Vancouver, which looks what's going to happen is you're going to have a pile up of houses. Houses are just going to keep piling up for sale. People are going to have divorces, like I said, deaths in the family. You're going to have inheritances, and people want to put stuff on the market. And then you're going to have some people break and say, you know what, screw it. This house is free and clear. I'll go $200,000 lower than the other guy selling down the street. Then the other guy says, well, I'll go $200,000 lower to him then. And before you know it, you're going to see people, when the real estate agents start doing comparables on houses and seeing what they sold for in the area, other people will start noticing that and taking reflection on that and saying, wait a minute, why is this one around the block sold for $300,000 less? What are you trying to pull here? That's what's going to start happening, and then you're going to start to see price drops everywhere. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget the subscribe button, and I appreciate you guys following me here, eh? Have a good one, and take care.